Hello, everyone, and welcome to Look Behind You, the podcast where we talk about the paranormal, the supernatural, and everything in between. I'm joined by my two co-hosts, Jordan.
Hello.
And Terry.
Good evening, everybody.
All right, so on this awesome episode of Look Behind You, we have a confused Jordan looking at his mic.
Pop filter keeps moving in the wrong place.
And we also have a short little tale about the urban legend of the Goat Man.
Insert screaming goat sound if need be.
I could do one.
I don't got that one, but I got a different one.
I was more just telling our audience.
Oh.
Like, they can just picture that in their head. Ow!
I could try to make a screaming goat noise.
Please don't.
Please don't.
You say no, but your eyes say yes.
The equipment couldn't handle it.
The equipment itself says, you're wrong. They have the button unmuted. Anyway.
It's just for anyone, that little, like, very brief snippet of sound, he went for the big red button on the soundboard.
Wait,
Or big green button. I'm colorblind.
did that actually play?
No.
It did nothing. It was not effective.
Yeah. I forgot to unmute the soundboard.
Oof.
Whatever. Anyway, so yeah. We have the story of the Goat Man, which the Goat Man stories, actually, plural, originate in the early 1970s within Prince George's County following the disappearance and or death of multiple dogs, which were later attributed to the creature. However, given the condition of remains, the deaths may more than likely have been the result of passing trains.
Okay, from the article, like, my eyes, when you said that, I looked down and said, I was thinking I was going to say, however, the deaths may have been caused by chupacabra.
I mean, it could have been as well, but yeah, you never know. Despite evidence of the contrary, stories of Goatman's existence continue to circulate, especially among local students. Graffiti reading "Goatman was here" was not uncommon, and law enforcement would habitually receive calls of reporting sightings, albeit with a number of them being pranks. So basically, that's the first story of the Goatman that started out in the 70s. And that's basically just of a wild Goatman creature running around and eating or attacking dogs. People would say that they'd see him in their backyard at night and stuff like that. And it happened for a couple weeks and would also happen for a while after. But a lot of people kind of chalked it up to being pranks as well.
I like how they're just automatically assuming, yep, dog got hit by a train.
Yeah, right.
Even though we don't know if there was a train around there or not.
No, there was.
I mean, 1970s Bowie, where a large number of the Goatman sightings were reported, and Bowie has a very large train station by the looks of it.
Ooh, nice.
I just want to know how they jumped to it's a goat man doing it.
Well, a lot of people reported sightings of a goat-like creature around their houses. So that's the first sighting. The next sighting that is very big is for the
Old Alton Bridge in
the
Texas.
Old Alton Bridge, which, if I can pull it up, Old Alton Bridge, also known as the Goatman's Bridge, is a historical iron truss bridge connecting the Texas cities of Denton and Copper Canyon, built in 1884 by the King Iron Bridge Manufacturing Company. It originally carried horses and later automobiles over Hickory Creek at a location that was once a very popular ford for crossing cattle. The bridge takes its name from the abandoned community of Alton, which between 1850 and 1856 was the seat of Danton County. So that's about the bridge itself.
Dang, it only got 6 years.
Yeah, it did only get 6 years. The Goatman Bridge legend. Locally, the bridge is known as Goatman's Bridge, as it is said to be haunted by the half-man, half-goat figure called Goatman. The belief is based on a legend of a black goat farmer named Oscar Washburn, who was said to have moved his family to the residence just north of the bridge. A few years later, Washburn, having become known as the dependable and honest businessman and dubbed the Goat Man by locals, displayed a sign on Alton Bridge reading, "This way to the Goat Man." But the success of the black man was still unwelcome to many, and in August 1938, Klansmen in the local government crossed the bridge and kidnapped Washburn from his family. They hung a noose on the Old Alton Bridge, and after securing it around his neck, threw him over the side. When they looked down to see if he had died, the noose was empty. In a panic, they returned to his family's home and, well, slaughtered his wife and kids.
Dark. Very dark.
Since that day local warns that if you cross the bridge at night without headlights, as the Klansmen are said to have done, you will be met on the other side by the Goat Man. A ghostly figure and strange lights are said to appear in the surrounding woods, as well as reports of visitors being touched, grabbed, and having rocks thrown at them.
Yes, actually seen in like one video, one person was telling a story where they didn't believe like the Goat Man story, but they had went there and had reported having like an encounter of hearing voices and stuff around there.
Yes.
And then one person felt like they were like being pulled back towards the bridge.
Yep.
So that is kind of an interesting thing with that area is not even the Goat Man story. There's just a lot of ghost stories and supernatural.
Yeah, supposedly the
experience.
bridge is haunted besides where the Goat Man is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very popular ghost hunting tourist spot now.
Now, there has been several other legends about the Goat Man from various other parts of the country. Unfortunately, I was not able to find them,
I believe it was
the exact locations, but some of them say that the Goat Man also appeared around a animal testing facility. That this animal testing facility was near a community, and ever since one day the Goat Man was spotted around an animal testing facility. Some people think that the facility itself created the Goat Man, or maybe it was a ghost of tortured animals.
You know, you say animal testing facility, and instantly through my head just Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
The only place I could find that, though, was on a podcast I once heard a couple months ago.
I think I heard that when I was listening to some videos today.
Did you?
I had seen with one the Goat Man for the Maryland story.
Yes.
Some people thought it was a scientist who was doing experiments on goats, and
Yes.
They think that there was like a lab accident that
Turned him into a Goat
turned
Man.
him into a Goat Man.
That could be very much the one I heard as well.
Then other ones just still with that one in Maryland, it's just like a just evil entity
Yeah.
who apparently really likes axes.
A lot of people that know anything about Greek mythology or Roman mythology will also know that the Goat Man very closely and is the exact thing as what is known as a satyr or why can't I find it? A faun. And basically back in Greek mythology times, they were a creation of, I think, the gods themselves.
I honestly do not remember.
Anyways, they were a creature way back then that had, well, the lower half of a goat usually. They had horns, and sometimes they'd have some like facial features, kind of like a goat.
Yep.
But they were known for, depending on what religion you're believing in, they'd either known as peace and fertility, and they were often also known for mischief and partying.
Yeah.
So, just depending on what one, and then there's also some much more vulgar stuff that they were known for, but I will not put that on the podcast.
Nope.
With the Alton Bridge one, the depiction of that is a lot more monstrous, like with the entity having, like, that people report seeing around there. It's got the body of a man. I think the legs and stuff are like a goat's.
Yes.
And then the head is like
Is a goat. It's more monstrous goat.
Yeah, it's
than-
more like the depiction of, and I don't even know really the origins of, but like Baphomet,
Yep.
which is like another depiction of like the devil.
Yes, or a demon or such.
Yeah.
Yep.
I did hear also at the Alton Bridge, there's another version of that tale that actually, that wasn't the goat farmer that the clan had killed there.
Yeah.
But it was actually a old voodoo practitioner, and said that when they threw him over, the rope had actually, it was like put too tight around him, so it severed his head from his body.
Oh, and then he put a goat head on top
Fell
of it.
into the mud, and his body got up out of the river and looked around for a head until he just like ripped a goat's head off and used it as his own.
Yeah, I
That's
heard
a
about that
weird
one.
tale.
That's a weird one, and it's like that one actually kind of was freaky.
Yeah, I bet.
Especially some of the weird stuff that voodoo is known for.
Yeah. How about you, Jordan? Did you find anything?
I was just trying to find, because I did hear about, I was reading about one where it was a, wait, no, that was the one that we just did.
Well, our good old
What was that one?
Wiki Wookie here has a few different stories if you want to go over a couple of those. Like
Did
this
it?
one, we've got the Waterford Sheep Man.
Yeah, I think that was the one that I was thinking about.
You guys want me to read that one?
Sure.
Okay. The Waterford Sheepman is an abominable creature that terrorized the small rural town of Waterford, Pennsylvania in the early 1970s. 70s again. It lurked in farm fields, stalking the unwitting animal and desired to tear it apart and feed on its flesh or blood. Hundreds of people witnessed this creature and is also referred to as a goat man. For those of you that are farmers, we all know there's a big difference in goats and sheep. Anyways, Marilyn knew of the goat legend as a teenager, and with this article, apparently we are referring to a person, so apologies for that hop along there. Anyways, Marilyn knew the goat man legend as a teenager in the 1970s, but along with the stories, she also seen it with her own eyes on more than one occasion. She said, I lived on Baghdad Road, and I saw this figure running across the dirt road at one point near the old sawmill. She remembers at the time there was much talk about the legend, with many people catching a glimpse of the creature darting across the road or into the brush along farm fields. She had a second encounter with the monster when she was 17. She said, he was there that one night. I drove home, and right before I turned into my driveway, there he was running across the road and into the woods. Now, they're saying that it's an abominable creature. It seems to me just more like just something that likes to run around.
Yeah. Another one that is. Are you done with that one?
Yeah, yep.
Just making sure. I thought you were. Next year. What's that?
I had just brought that one up.
Yeah, that document was a little weird and how it read, so.
One that is a more malicious creature or spirit is the Pope Lick monster, or also known as the Truss Bridge
Goat man.
goat man. Numerous urban legends exist about the creature, origins, and methods it employs to claim its victims. According to some accounts, the creature uses either hypnosis or voice mimicry to lure trespassers into the trestle to meet their death before an incoming train. Other stories claim that the monster jumps down from the trestle into the roof of cars passing beneath it. Yet other legends tell that it attacks its victims with a blood-stained axe, and that the very sight of the creature is so unsettling that those who see it while walking across the high trestles are driven to leap off.
I don't know. I think I've seen something like that. Just like Diablo 1 music would start playing. Just get my sword and shield and just start hacking.
We are not normal
No.
like passerbys.
I just need someone to click on it. So I'm just.
So that one is much more malicious. That one actually sounds like it.
And the story behind it, there's a couple different ones. But go ahead, Terry.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I do find it interesting that a lot of connections of these have to do with bridges.
Yeah.
That is.
Well, for a long time, bridges have been known for trouble and being a pain to cross. You either have like the troll bridge that actually has a troll underneath it.
Yep. Well. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, it's like bridges also seem to be like kind of that weird ley line thing, and there's like bridges in Europe, or there's a bridge that is known for like dogs will be going across it,
Yep.
and then just plummet to their death for no reason.
There's
Yeah, that is a famous bridge.
there's a bridge that was well known in the Civil War that to this day, if you walk across at a certain time with like a certain time on a certain day, you will hear the gunshots and the screams of the victims during the Civil War.
Oh wow.
And some people even say that when you look across the bridge while you're walking across it, you will even see the war happening as like a mirage.
Yeah, it's just, to me, it's weird that it's like bridges are always kind of that doesn't, to me, whether these stories would be true or not, it doesn't seem to me to be that thing of that kind of thing passing just from person to person, because it's like, it's one of those things that's like, it's all over the world. Like,
Yeah, that's true.
every place has some bizarre thing about bridges. Not all bridges, but
Yep.
enough that I think we could probably do an episode on bridges.
You probably could.
Yeah, we could.
I mean, there's definitely, not to get dark, but where's like a common place people go to commit suicide?
Yep.
Bridges.
Common place where murders happen. Or
Bridges, yep.
Disasters.
Car accidents all the time on bridges.
Mothman. Bridge
Yep.
collapse.
Yep.
There's a lot of death when bridges are, major ones like Golden Gate and Mackinac Island
Yep.
Bridge and
Yeah.
stuff. A lot of deaths from workers and stuff.
Yeah. There's known to be people in the Mackinac Bridge in the cement
Yeah, where they're just
they're
entombed
just
because
entombed in there because they fell in and
There's no way to get you out.
there's no.
Yeah.
Not in those days. No, that would.
It's kind of the same thing
Suck.
with dams.
Yes,
Big dams.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dams are terrifying because you see a crack in one of those and
Well,
If you kind of think about it, bridges and dams are one of the more unnatural things a human can make.
yeah, exactly.
it's I don't remember which one it is. I want to say it's either Hoover or Boulder Dam. My dad actually got to work in some of it.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Just like his maintenance and
Yeah.
stuff. But he said there is a spot in there where it's like there's a plaque of like the people.
I believe that would
died
be
while
the
working
Boulder
on it.
Dam.
Wow.
I want to say that's the Boulder Dam.
Is it? I mean, I imagine probably all dams, if someone's died working on it, have probably have
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
a lot of those famous structures. Because I'm kind of getting off track there.
Oh, you're fine. But no, it's definitely interesting looking at this creature in particular, how it has an interest around, well, bridges.
Right. And that kind of makes me wonder with some of these, obviously not all of them because popularity of stories travels, but at the same time, some of the similarities with this, I did not look out of America on this one.
No, me neither. I figured it was mainly a
But
American
it's
legend.
kind of that thing of it's like, is it a spirit or something? Kind of like we've discussed like with the Mothman thing. Is it like a thing of ill omen?
Right.
Because obviously, like, bad things have happened at, like, Alton Bridge.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
other places, you know.
Yep.
So,
I don't. Maybe we should look into it a little bit further. I just wanted to pick this topic because I knew of.
yeah.
Actually, I picked this topic because I was looking up lore for Fallout 76,
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
this
and they
Do
they
they?
have
lot
a
of
creature that's like the Goat Man.
a lot of games have the Goat Man.
Yeah,
in
and
it.
I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, and this will be that thing of we'll probably come back to it. If we
Yeah.
don't, then it's just something we can do as a side thing. Our audience can do that.
There's a couple origin stories for the Goat Man. Because there's one where it's a circus freak.
Yeah, they quote that here in this
And also,
this one here.
Also, I think in that article that you might be reading from right now, it also talks about the voodoo. What Terry said was a voodoo person, but it was a satanic farmer who sacrificed goats to get satanic powers. And I believe in the extended version of the story, eventually he just wears a goat's head, because oftentimes Satan is depicted with the head of a goat.
Yes.
Yeah. We do actually have one more of these critters in here. I thought I had hit the bottom of the list. We have the Proctor Valley Monster. If you guys want me to read that one real quick.
Go ahead.
Proctor Valley Monster is said to be a 7-foot tall and deranged cow. well, that doesn't really fit with Goatman. That sounds more like a Minotaur. But anyways, here we go.
Is it a mini-tar?
Mini-tars.
The Proctor Valley monster provides numerous points of evidence for Goatman's existence, including a footprint.
Ah, yes, the cow exists, so the goat must exist at the same time.
Go exist, there's going to be a cow.
Where the cow goes...
The goat knows. Anyways, the legend of the Proctor Valley monster grew, and it's described as a 7-foot tall, hairy humanoid like a Bigfoot, or sometimes a cow-like animal with its body parts in the wrong place. The Proctor Valley monster is assumed to be responsible for livestock mutilations that occur every now and then, and the Bonita Museum in Chula Vista has a casting of a strange footprint alleged to be that of the monster.
So wait, is this from America or from a different country?
Proctor Valley's here in America. I'm not sure where though.
Then where was the museum that you just said?
Probably in the air. Like I said, I'm honestly not sure. This article doesn't lay out like all.
What was the name of the museum again?
The Bonita Museum in Chula Vista.
Okay,
Chula Vista County?
that could be.
That could be.
I don't know the article that you're referencing, so
I'm at
I
the
can't.
bottom of the
Oh,
That
the
big one.
the cryptid wiki
Oh, this one?
fandom.
Yes. It looks a lot bigger on my phone than on your screen.
Proctor, it says right here, southeast corner of San Diego County in California.
Okay.
That's what I thought. Chula Vista, I thought that was in California.
I just never heard of it, and it.
Yeah, one of our coworkers has
sound
talked about it
familiar.
because I think he lived down there.
Yeah, man, it's kind of hard to know geography for even your own like country when you've only lived in like one state your whole life.
My parents just got one of those inflatable worlds,
Oh, we used to have one of those when we were little.
and I was comparing sizes of like different countries to each other.
Yeah,
And I just realized honestly how big America is.
yeah.
And it's just like, now I don't feel bad for not knowing certain things in certain states.
Well, a lot of people from other countries as well don't understand why like Americans don't know their own country too well. It's like when the average country in the world can fit in the Texas,
The average
Yeah.
the average. Where
in Texas,
we
yes.
look small on a map, but it's actually very big.
yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways,
One of the most prominent things tourist, not guides, the people that help set up tour trips. Is that just tourist guides?
Pretty much. Yeah.
travel agent.
Travel agents, yeah. One of the biggest things they have to tell like Europeans when they travel to America is that they can't just see everything in America in a week. Because
Yeah.
a lot of times, or at least this is what I've heard, some Europeans think, I'll take a car and I'll see Chicago one day, then I'll go to LA the next day.
Yeah, and you
and
can't
see
do,
the wa-
you can't do that here
Yeah.
because it's like between Chicago and LA is like a 5-day trip.
Yeah.
driving.
Sounds like a good way to get arrested. Well, try to do it in a week.
Oh yeah, because
Yeah, it does.
you'd be flying, you'd be like flooring it all.
Yeah.
Oh,
the way.
you'd have to be going like 200 miles an hour?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, there's some spots where you want to do that.
All right. Well, for the Goat Man, I think that's about it.
You were
Yeah,
gonna.
I think so.
What you guys think on the Goat Man? What's your thoughts?
I'm a bit 50-50 on it.
Yeah.
I do agree with. I don't think. Well, actually, no. The Alton Bridge story has the potential for being true because, like, everyone's argument against it is there's no historical records of the guy.
Yes.
You have to kind of keep in mind the era, though. Records were not spot on, and that would be one of those kind of murders that would just be swept under the rug.
It could be. I mean, it was, like they said, it was the Ku Klux Klan that was affiliated with the local government.
Right.
So it could very well be.
It could be either or. Now, going on that, whether that story was true or not, the thing, like I said before, with bridges, multiple bridges have stories of a entity like that. And also this area being known for other, like, weird, strange paranormal stuff.
Right.
I could see it being something there.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
can see
obviously,
that.
I've never been there myself, but...
The thing I don't like about it, and this is my thought on it, is I've heard a couple podcasts, like paranormal podcasts, talk about it before, which kind of gave me the idea for it, because I figured if they could make an hour episode, we could make it at least a half an hour episode.
Yeah.
And then I started looking into it, and a lot of the sites and articles and even videos just say the same information. Like,
Right.
we had to dig to find, well, not dig too hard, because most of it was on the wiki. Like, but every other article had the same information that the wiki did.
I
so,
still had to dig to find stuff that wasn't the Maryland stuff.
yes.
Like that wiki that you found, I honestly could not find it anywhere.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it was weird because like every site was talking about the Alton Bridge or the what was it, the lick monster, the sand-
Poplick
Poplick monster.
Pope lick monster.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Poplick monster.
yeah.
I want
And
to say Poplick.
there's other places too. Like there's a forest that has it. They're saying
Yeah.
on the wiki page. There's legends in Louisiana.
But a lot of those legends are like 2 paragraphs, 1 paragraph. stuff like
Right.
that. Like,
Which a lot of legends are.
yes, but I was hoping to find more solid, like more like archival stuff.
Right.
So it was hard to find. So I kind of want to say it's more of a urban legend than an actual maybe cryptid that could exist.
Right.
So
Okay.
Pardon the pun because this isn't intended, but I kind of feel like it's more like a scapegoat
yeah.
where like
Oh, hang on. I
It's
think this is the
muted.
right button. Oh, right, the soundboard's still muted. Let me try that one more time. There we go.
like I said earlier, oftentimes a goat is correlated with satanic and Satanism
Right.
and the depiction of the devil.
Yep.
And I feel like especially way back then, it would be used like, oh, it was a goat man, a devil person.
Well, especially in the 70s. 70s was a little bit before the satanic panic, right?
Yeah, but 70s, late 60s, and the 70s were really big on like cults were popping up too a lot.
Yeah,
That's true.
I feel like it was more or less a thing that, like a spooky story that just kept popping up here and there, and they just turned into urban legends from there, and that's why there's only like a couple paragraphs
Yeah.
per story.
Well, another thing too, though, and I think this is what happens, and I think this is what we run into a lot with our research too, is these little paragraphs. They are the
Synapses.
parts of the legends that it's like I wish I could get away from my job for a little bit and actually go to the places that they talk about, because
Yeah.
I feel like all they are is those are the articles that are added by like somebody that lives in an area that has a legend, and they just basically are mentioning, yeah, my place has this legend, but they don't go into
Right.
detail of it.
Right.
A lot of them are kind of the synopsis of the legend.
Right, where it's like if you were to actually go to a place probably and talk to people and interview people and stuff, there'd be more. There'd be a lot more there,
Yeah.
I think, than, you know, unlike really popular. Some places, very few in comparison, like to, how do I say it without sounding, I guess, blunt about it, like to cash in on their legends.
Yeah.
Where there's a lot of places that will have legends, and it's like you don't talk about it. No one talks about it because everyone will think you're crazy for
Yeah.
it. Where it's like where we live, there's a area where no one ever goes because it's like a lot of bad crap happens there.
Yep.
It's a natural place. Like it's not a town, a city. I mean, you guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Not exactly, but I think.
But I'm just kind of trying to say it without disclosing the location.
Why?
I don't know.
Is it a woods?
It's a swamp.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, just...
It's the swamps up in White Cloud.
Yeah. But
those
it's like
swamps.
that. I have actually tried to get information out of people of that, and every single person that I have ever talked to that has been there just like clams up about it immediately.
Yeah.
It's like it's not like a game either of it. They are instantly uncomfortable about the subject.
Yeah. Well, it could also be because of the unsavory nature of what could go on in there.
Right. Well, there's been reported murders. There was a farm out there. I've heard like stories of an old farm out there where it's like back in like the 30s, a guy was murdered.
Right.
Not for the same things, but who had been doing bad dealings with the wrong people.
Yeah.
I've heard of just like weird things of people hearing voices and stuff just kind of all over out there.
Right.
And people just getting lost. I mean, in Michigan alone, swamps around here, big swamps.
Yeah.
If you go in them, a lot of people don't come back.
Yeah. We might have to do a episode on that one day.
I would like to.
Yeah.
It's, like I said, it's one of those things that was a little hard trying to even get people to talk to me about it.
Yeah.
I feel like we should go to the swamp.
I mean, I'd be willing to.
See, here's the weird thing. If you go and interview people and you tell them that you're doing a project for a production, like a media production, they seem to be more open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because of the chance of 15 minutes of fame.
You also will get some of the people that will fancy up the tale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where you interview a bunch of people and then you have to cut through what's good and what's not. Anyways, I think that about sums up our tale of the Goat Man for this episode.
Insert screaming goat sound.
I can make a goat sound?
No.
Darn it.
I can actually push this button now. Please don't.
Why don't you just say that?
I can't represent the sadness that is in that clip.
Jeez.
Just say it.
No.
Oh, that's great.
Oh,
That's great.
I have the Baka Talk soundboard up right now. So.
oh no. Oh no.
But anyways, we're going to take a break and we'll be back with some more, probably more geek related stuff after this. So.
Probably.
Yep.
All right, so we'll catch you on the other side and see you later.
See ya.
And we're back. Welcome back, everybody.
Oh, I turned the volume down on my headphones by accident.
Oh,
I was deaf for a second.
nice.
I'm hard of hearing right now.
All right, so we just got done with our Goatman topic, and now we're going to talk about some stuff that we've been doing through the week, right?
I've been working and having existential crisis. Is that a thing?
I don't know if people want to hear that on the podcast.
I don't want to
Sure.
hear it. I've just.
How about you, Jordan? What have you been doing?
Playing games and watching movies.
Cool. What movies you been watching?
Let's see. The last movie I had just watched was The Green Hornet.
The comedy one
Yes.
with
I don't know the comedian's name.
I was
It's not Seth Rogen, is it, that plays in that?
after D&D night yesterday.
What are you talking
I was taking him and my girlfriend home, and they're sitting there talking about Green Hornet, and I'm like, I have no idea what this is. I've
Yeah,
never
it's a
seen-
campy superhero comedy that came out in like 2012,
2011.
2011.
It's actually a decent superhero movie.
I know, it's pretty.
It is Seth Rogen.
It is? Okay, that's what I thought. I don't know how I got so good at guessing stuff like that, but okay.
It is actually a really... I like Green Hornet, that
Yeah.
movie. It was a good movie.
I thought it was funny when I watched it, but it's, I don't know, it's a weird movie.
Yeah.
It kind of actually has a decent...
Well, Green Hornet was like an old 40s comic. Or
Yeah,
something,
where he's
wasn't it?
basically like a super spy type character.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Huh. So I know you've been going through watching a lot of movies you haven't seen or like really liked.
For some reason, I started watching the Resident Evil movies.
nice. I've been thinking about going through those.
Edginess of edginess next to like Underworld.
How do you
It
like
is-
all the slow motion?
It's weird. It is strictly early 2000s movie.
Yes. There's no plot.
There's a plot,
Barely.
and they tell you the plot from the beginning, and you will know it throughout the whole thing. But it's an early 2000s movie.
Yeah. Yeah, for
That's
sure.
the only way I can describe
Just
it.
remember the first movie really loving the laser grid room.
Yeah, that was a great scene.
Yeah.
Like that was like the focus point around that whole
I wanted to
movie.
watch them to see how they held up to like the actual lore of the games. They were doing good at the first and the second one. I could see how they could like play off of the games, but then the third one came about, and if anyone hasn't seen them and wants to see them without spoilers, spoiler alert, but the whole world just is instantly dead. And
It's desert.
yeah,
And then the fourth one, they're in Antarctica. No, they're in Alaska.
no,
Yeah.
she goes to Alaska,
Yeah.
but then comes back to
It's a mountain.
no, comes back to a city. What city is it?
Oh, you're talking
San Francisco, I believe.
yeah.
They come back to.
yeah. And it's no longer a desert. And you're like, what? What happened to the sand?
Well, it was Las Vegas. They were in the desert part. They were in. The
Yeah,
back.
but they say that the whole world was turned into a desert.
Yeah, they say that, but then in the same movie, they also show not a desert.
Yeah.
I don't know. I felt like it wasn't Resident Evil when she lit the crows on fire.
Yeah, that's the third movie. That's when it goes from
But then
being
again-
close to Resident Evil to being, oh, there's no more Resident Evil games. Let's do our own.
And then I do know, though, it's like later on there's a Resident Evil game where one of the main bosses just spontaneously combusts stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. It was definitely. It's weird because like she also loses her powers and gets them back
Oh, she gets her powers back.
eventually. Oh, you haven't
That's
seen
right.
them all, have you?
Is there any
No.
of them? Like, I remember
I just finished the fourth one.
the last Resident Evil. I was in a hotel somewhere for an event I went to, or was in, or whatever. And she's running on an iceberg, and there's a fight, and I'm like,
That must be like the fifth
I'm
or sixth
going
one.
to bed now.
Yeah. It's definitely campy stuff.
It's
Fair.
not even campy. It's just edgy.
Yeah.
It was the era of edge.
Yeah.
I watched a really good comedy movie Monday,
What
which
movie?
was Free Guy.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Finally watched Free Guy. That was a great, like a video game movie. I think that's probably the best video game based movie I've watched.
Oh really?
Is it
A while.
better than Ready Player One?
Never watched Ready Player One,
Neither have I.
so
I thought. you
sure,
did.
yes, it's way better than Ready Player One.
Okay.
I know our one coworker who's an old man loves like talking about that. It's like everything's gonna be like Ready Player One.
Yes, yeah, he goes in multi minute talks about that.
Multiple minute talks about that.
Yes. I say multiple minutes because usually it's like he'll start a conversation about it and it'll like last like a minute. Then he'll go work and then come back 15 minutes later and he'll keep on talking about it. I'm like, cool. What were we talking about?
But those are really the only movies I watched.
Yeah.
Other than last Sunday. Oh, wait. Technically, I did watch half the beginning and the end of Shang-Chi.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That
So
was.
that's the whole movie.
Well, I missed the brief middle bit. About an hour in the middle.
So you missed the actual like
Story.
plot of it.
Yeah. I seen the build up and the conclusion.
Yeah. Shang-Chi's pretty good.
But I was able to piece it all together with my
Yeah.
dad and my sister telling me what was
Marvel
happening.
plot.
I was just disappointed that there wasn't Fing Fang Foom.
Fing Fang Foom would be hard to add into a Marvel MCU.
Nonsense.
Let's see. What did
I don't know much about Fing Fang Foom, so maybe.
Yeah.
I think it was last weekend, or maybe the weekend before. I watched Big Trouble in Little China with my family. They
Nice.
The
all
umpteenth time.
Oh, I love that movie.
You've watched that literally probably 15 times. Or no, 50
I've
times.
probably watched it probably about 50 times.
I don't know how you could watch a movie that many times.
I love it. It's fun.
Normally, I just watch a movie once and I'm done.
3 movies I could watch over and over is that, Evil Dead 2, and Army of Darkness.
I could watch Army of Darkness probably a couple times.
Because to me, they're just adventures.
Yeah.
So I watched that, and then my dad convinced all of us to watch an old Western. It was actually pretty good. A lot better than I remember. It's called Little Big Man.
Okay. Yep.
It's about a guy that, like, as a child, his family is killed by Native Americans, and he's raised by another clan called the Humans.
Okay.
And it's just like he's a coward, but it's his life story of like how he's getting through life with all this stuff. And it's like at the time he's the oldest man alive, so I think this movie is made in the 70s, so he's like 122 years old.
Oh wow.
And he's being interviewed.
Yeah.
And it's just like because he's the last person that remembers like Custer's last stand.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. Like in this story, he is actually the guy that like he's a tracker at the time, and Custer's like this big arrogant general.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, you should go down in that valley. It's like where all the tribes are waiting for. Because previously Custer had killed his clan.
Right.
Or
Right.
his tribe.
Oh, that's interesting.
So it's like it's interesting because it's like then it has him going and meeting historical figures like Wild Bill Hickok.
Yeah.
Like he's actually friends with him in the story for a little bit. And
Oh, that's cool.
it's if you like old Western movies and like really, really dark comedy and some drama, it's a good movie.
Yeah. Well, the last movies I watched, that I can mention is I rewatched the first two Evangelion Rebuild movies.
This is not Baka
This is
Talk.
not that podcast.
Hey, but they're movies.
They are
Sure.
movies.
But I found
heard
it
they're
funny.
movies.
I found it funny that you watched like an old Western, and like the movies I watched are like on the opposite end of the spectrum scale.
Yeah, but now I want to watch them too. I made the connection that Evangelion is just eldritch horror
Yeah, it really is if you think about
with
it.
robots.
Yeah, I mean it's not like as like horror as like most eldritch horror is, but
it's cosmic surrealistic.
yeah, it's more psychological cosmic horror.
Yeah.
So it's pretty.
I don't
cool.
know. I would say in some parts of it's kind of horror. The whole like end of the world thing is kind of dark.
The last movie in the series is very psychological.
Okay.
But I don't know. I watched those.
Save for that, the one thing we can all agree on that we've done for anyone that's a video game person, we've
Is
all been
play Elden
Elden
Ring.
I've played it more than they have.
Because you've
No,
had it way longer than
yeah,
I
I've had it since it came out.
Here's the bad part though. In just like the one weekend I got to play it, I put about 27 hours into
Yeah, you put
it.
in more hours into it in 2 days than I did in 2 days.
I hopped on once when I woke up. It was about 11 o'clock. The one time I took a break and looked at the clock, it was 5:30 at night.
Man, if I
And-
didn't need the money, I would call in sick tomorrow and just play it all day tomorrow.
What you do is you stream it.
How does what?
You stream playing Elden Ring, then you don't have to go to work.
Because you are working.
Because you are.
But I'm still not gonna get any money. Who's gonna watch me play Elden Ring?
You'd be
I
surprised.
mean, who watches half the people on Twitch?
It's true. Very true. But yeah, Elden Ring's pretty cool.
It's a beautiful game. For
It's
any-
beautiful looking.
it is. No, that's what I mean. It's
Yeah,
a
the
beautiful
graphics are
looking
great.
game. It's
Even on the PlayStation 4, which is what I'm playing it on, the graphics are.
I would say for anyone who it's not, I'm not saying that they are alike in any way, but for like anybody that was an old time gamer that knew like the old Mario games and stuff were hard.
Yeah.
For new games now, this is that equivalent.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I'd say so. Hello, Discord.
Hello, Discord.
That
Hi,
was like
Discord.
my mom asked me about it because my girlfriend and brother actually got it for me for my birthday, and I don't know what made her ask about it, but it's like something about how hard it was. And I was like, well, you used to play Mario a lot. You remember what that was like? She's like, yeah. It's like, it's for the modern games. That's.
I think I might relate it more to like the first Zelda.
Yes.
too.
First,
Difficulty.
Zelda Ocarina of Time is the best way of.
It's open, like, well, more open than that, because that game had of course, its limitations for stuff.
Yeah.
It was an easy way for me to relate it to my mom because my mom used to be like a big gamer with the old retro games.
Right.
Yeah, but that game is. I don't want to say too much about it for people that haven't played it yet.
Oh, there's already endings plastered all over YouTube.
Somehow I'm not getting those videos. I haven't got spoiled on YouTube, but maybe once, and it was my fault because I was watching a technical Dark Souls YouTuber for PvP and stuff, and they were just mentioning the most overpowered weapon in the game.
I will say this for anyone that is a gamer that might be listening, please don't compare it to something like Skyrim.
Yeah,
because that's the general thing that like every video now that I've seen that's a complaint is everyone's like, I thought this was like Skyrim
Or The
Yeah.
Witcher.
or The Witcher. And it's not.
A lot of people, unfortunately, because this is going to be Miyazaki's and From Software's probably biggest game that they've released, besides from maybe Arma, which From Software made Arma, right?
I don't think so.
What was the one game that they made that was
Armor Core.
Armor Core?
Yeah, Arma.
Armor Core is not nearly as big as Dark Souls.
No, it's just
It's-
giant open map.
I heard Armor Core more than I've heard Dark Souls.
Armor Core has a fan following, and it's like a popular game. It's not like a little game, but compared to like Elden Ring now,
Well, yeah, I'm saying
Elden
like
Ring
before
is-
Elden Ring was
I would say
announced.
from the Armor Core games that I've played, it's basically make it like an anime, and it might be you and maybe a couple enemies across a giant just map of buildings you can smash through. That's the ones
Okay.
I've played before that were. That's what.
See, I never
they're
played
not
it.
exactly that way, but sure.
I mean, the ones that I have played, I played the early ones.
I
Yeah.
just knew that was From Software's second biggest title that they've ever put out.
They did also make Little
Yeah.
Nightmares.
Yeah, they did.
Oh yeah, they did.
That's a fun game.
I forgot that even forgot about that game.
I bought the first one, and it's like when I seen that, I was like, oh Lord, I'm gonna die.
But back to what I was saying, this is probably going to be their biggest released game,
Yeah.
which means a lot of people are going to play it that don't know much, if anything, of how Dark Souls.
Just like Skyrim.
Yeah.
People got Skyrim and had no idea of the previous Elder Scroll
Yep.
games, nothing of the lore. They're like, oh yeah, they're talking about this thing, and it's like everyone that's been a fan of it from the beginning is like, yes, because this and this happened.
Mm-hmm.
First person, I was like, I wonder what Oblivion is. I want to smack them.
But the Souls games were hard games and are hard games.
Yeah.
And Elden Ring takes that with it.
Yeah.
I dare say it might be even harder than some of the Dark Souls games, other than 2, which was just confusing.
2 was a puzzle.
At the moment, it's not too hard for me. The simplest the difficulty I'm having, and it's artificial difficulty for me, is it feels and it looks so much like a more hack and slash game
Yep.
that I want to immediately push the triangle button
You
on
wanna
my controller.
You want to combo the enemy.
Yeah, I want to combo the enemy instead of just swinging my sword with one of the bumper buttons.
The triggers and bumpers.
So like I'll go up to like a guy that's about to like heavy hit me, and I'm about to like I want to like just like interrupt his attack, and I'll hit the triangle button and just like try to activate something.
So yeah, for anybody that's going to go into playing Elden Ring without playing any Dark Souls games or Bloodborne or even Sekiro or
Sekiro.
Sekiro, Neo.
don't expect it to be like any other game out.
It is not a game that you casually go through.
The
I was casually.
Well,
no, you go through it casually.
you can enjoy it, but it's like it's gonna be one of those games that where most games will save their difficulty for like the last boss of something. This is like
It's gonna be
everybody.
It's gonna be a steady difficulty throughout the whole thing until you get to some of the main bosses that spike in difficulty because they're just freaking hard.
Yeah.
I didn't quite appreciate the one little camp I went into. And it's like, I thought this was going to be 3 guys. And I turn around and there's
There's a whole
15
army.
guys behind me.
Dude blows his horn, and then everyone in the camp's like,
And
dude, get him.
what's nice about this,
Even when he blew his horn, I was like, okay, it's going to be like 2 more guys.
Because you're used to that
And
in
then,
other Souls games.
in other Souls games, I saw like 3 guys come out of the bushes.
Another
Like
3
4
guys.
guys come out of the building. A guy behind me with a giant like hammer. And I'm just like, oh, God, I'm
Wait
going to die.
until the people on horses start chasing you.
There's people on horses?
yeah,
I thought I was the only one with that ability.
No.
Dang it.
there's bosses on horse. Well,
Yeah,
we've seen that.
I've been dying to that all night.
Yeah, when you were talking on Discord earlier that you kept dying to the first boss, I'm like, hopefully he's not trying to fight the mini boss right outside of the gate because he's hard.
This game,
And let it be the first boss, mini boss.
this game definitely makes you think about the fights you're gonna pick with
Yes,
everything. It's not
does.
again, it's not like Skyrim where it's like I'm going to just slaughter everything in my path.
Yep, there's no pause button.
Yeah, there's no pausing it, and there are safe points like
No, there's not safe points.
sites of grace are.
That's not a safe point.
I mean, you can still be attacked at them.
I was right there. I ran away from the boss.
You dragged them to it.
Yeah, you did. Oh,
I
yeah.
went through
there
a
is also-
building.
there's destructible environments. when
Yeah,
you're
I didn't
outdoors.
know that.
Buildings and trees will
I just heard the wall behind me crumble, and I'm like,
wait
oh,
until you
Lord.
get chased by a bear.
When we got here tonight, we're watching him play for the first time through, and there's these little ruins. He's being chased by his giant knight on a horse, and he ducks into those ruins. He's like, I'm safe, and the knight just plows through the wall.
Yeah.
He didn't even plow through the wall. He was smart enough to find the other giant hole in the wall.
No, he took out the wall.
Oh,
Yeah.
oof.
Yeah.
Because the way that boss is, it's line of sight.
Yeah.
He doesn't let anything stand between him and you.
And really, everything that we just talked about now is in the first area of the game.
Yeah, like the first 5 minutes of playing. Also, for
Yeah, it only
anyone-
took me literally 5.
Anyone
But
that
you-
might be playing, if you're looking for a tutorial, there's literally, when you start the game, there's a ghost in a chair, jump down in the hole in front of him.
That's the tutorial. Please
Because
jump down.
the
there.
way this game is it's treated more as for the people that have played the game all these years.
Can skip it.
Can skip it. This is the final cookie for the Souls players.
Yeah, the only reason I went back and did the tutorials for the rune thingies.
Oh,
The rooms.
Yeah. That's a good spot to get more.
I
of
got a
that.
couple hundred. I was happy.
Yeah.
But that's to me what it feels more like is this was a giant hug from Miyazaki of like, you've done good.
Yeah, this would be his 3, 4, 5th Souls-like game. Souls game. And it feels like,
Technically, the King's Keep or the King's
oh wait, I also forgot
King's Crown or whatever they're called.
Oh yeah.
I also forgot about Demon Souls. So that would be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This would be its 8th game.
It
His
feels
8th
like
game.
the 8th game. Like, usually
It feels like the
games that follow a very similar thing, like Assassin's Creed, right?
Mm-hmm.
They feel boring by the 8th game, right? Because it feels like
Yeah.
the same
like
thing.
rinse and repeat.
Yeah. But this one feels like they took everything and they made it perfection.
They
Yeah.
polished.
Yeah.
It's a masterpiece of
Part-
what I've seen so
Part
far.
of it makes me wonder whatever build engines and stuff that they're using, because a lot of game developers do this is like even over a course of years they learn the new tricks and stuff that their programs can do,
Yeah.
and it's like to me that kind of feels like that with this. It's like suddenly jumping is available because somebody discovered how to program it in easier and things
Well,
like
I
that.
think they added it in for
Well,
the open world environment.
yeah.
Like, for the first time in a Souls game, I could actually hop up on a cliff and just kind of like walk up it.
That's throwing me through a loop though, because it's like I'll see a little platform with an item and I'm looking around, I was like, okay, what overly intricate platforming do I need to do?
Well, it's like
just
right
gotta
before
hop.
you guys got here, I hopped up on a large, like, broken piece of building, climbed to the top just to look around and see what I could see.
So it's a really cool game. And it's like if you are a game player and it's not your cup of tea, it's worth just watching online, watching people play
Yes.
it.
Yep.
Yeah, it is totally worth watching.
Viati? Is that his name?
I have trouble pronouncing his name.
I can't
so-
even spell it. Let me look it up.
There's a lot of people.
Viati
Viati.
something.
Anyways,
He's
you
great-
can look up Dark Souls lore and Elden Ring lore.
And he's going to be one of the first people that pop up.
His
He's the guy that
name
does like the 3-hour-long lore videos.
sometimes.
Sometimes there is a video labeled the Dark Souls movie, which is all the Dark Souls lore people, YouTubers, content creators, that all just decided to put all their knowledge together, make a 3-hour-long video, and have them all narrated throughout the whole thing.
Oh, wow.
It is beautiful.
If you want some really also the story was helped. The story was co-wrote or written by J.R.R. Martin.
George R.R. Martin.
Yeah, George R.R. Martin.
So
if you like
Game of
Thrones and stuff like that, then it's not the same type of story, but it's got
I think he
themes
helped
of
with
it.
like some of the world building and stuff.
Yep. Anyways, the YouTuber I'm thinking of his name is Vati Viata Vidia.
Body video.
It's spelled VAATIVIDYA. It's really good. So
Yeah, I think I've watched some of his videos because there was one of those lore videos I threw it on for a little bit, and it's like he started with, so we're talking about this, and by the end it like transcended every bit of lore because it all interweaves, and it's like, oh my goodness, I just wanted to know about the sludge pile.
He also has a whole series of videos called Prepare to Cry, where it's just telling the tragic backstory of some of the Dark Souls NPCs and characters.
The Dark Souls games and now Elden Ring, I would love to be able to get into the studios and just like go over their, like, I forget what it's called, basically the manifest of the game where they have to write the story basically.
Oh, the Bible?
Yeah.
Yep.
The Bibles for each of those games, because I feel like it would be like a 2-foot tall manuscript.
Yeah, probably.
Um,
With how much stuff that they're stuffing into games. Like
yeah.
these, so
And it's like, for those people that get into games for stories, there's a incredibly intricate story, but at face value it doesn't look like it.
Yeah.
Because the game makes you work for little shreds of the story. And it's it's up to you to piece it together.
That's interesting. I was looking through the Elden Ring wiki to figure out what game engine it used, and I found a part where it said Miyazaki cited the person that created Shadow of Colossus as an influence that inspired him to create Elden Ring, as well as The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild.
yeah, exactly.
It does. I've never played Breath of the Wild, but I see a lot of that in this.
Yeah,
It feels like that. Like even walking out of the tutorial area or the first area and you go into like the big open landscape, that's how it feels to like go out of the cave in Breath of the Wild for the first time. You see this giant landscape and you're like, wow, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, like, you'll find ruins just ruined buildings.
Oh yeah.
In Elden Ring, and just kind of like stone pillars. Those all kind of look like stuff you'd find in Shadow of the Colossus.
Yeah. Yep.
Even Breath of the Wild a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, I think both those games pull from that, because Shadow of Colossus was the first ever, like, here is a giant world with dark story.
Yeah.
And just it was one of those games, like, back for games like PlayStation 2 and all those stuff, that it's like it got awards. It got like art awards.
Yes. It's a very good game, so.
But yeah, Elden Ring.
Yeah.
It better get some awards.
I think it will. I would not be surprised, especially after a couple patches, because there's some bugs.
Yeah, there.
I would not be surprised if it got Game of the Year.
You also got to think of, with the patches, why there's not a whole lot of patches coming out, is the Dark Souls series on the computer. They're kind of trying to fix right now.
Yeah.
Because their servers, they found out that there was a major exploit that allowed hackers to take over your PC on the Dark Souls servers, and they said that they weren't going to be able to work on them until Elden Ring came out.
Right, because it's probably going to be all hands on
They found
deck.
this out like a month ago. So they were like, yeah, we're just going to take the servers offline until Elden Ring gets out.
Honestly, with that, I'm surprised that they're even going to work on it rather than just tear the servers down and keep them down.
Well, Dark Souls 3 is from 2016.
Yeah.
It's way too young of a game to just shut down the server.
Oh, yeah, but
People
I mean,
even-
there are a lot of game companies, though, that are just like, yeah, cut our losses.
Yeah, but FromSoft isn't necessarily like that.
No, they're not.
Obviously,
I mean, you can still find people on Dark Souls 2.
Yeah, Dark Souls
There's-
1.
There's
I
still
have a nemesis on Dark Souls 2, actually.
There's still PvP scenes for not the remake of Dark Souls,
But the first one.
but the first one.
yeah.
And even before the Prepare to Die edition of Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Because those are technically two different games still.
Yeah.
The original Dark Souls, even though you can't find it, there's still people that are on it that play it.
Yeah.
There's still a modding community for that Dark Souls.
It's going to be that game. All those games are going to be just like how Doom. Doom,
Yes.
there are still people on the original platforms, or like they have just outright bought the original servers.
Right.
And
kind of feels
keep
like
them up.
that because I've been listening to / watching some kind of like retro gaming history videos. Mm-hmm. The Dark Souls series kind of feels like and sounds like how the Doom
community is. and
community
stuff.
and just how the games were constructed off of each other and how they evolved.
Yeah. Yep. Just like a lot of old id games, but I think Dark Souls is going to be just like those in the fact of
Yeah.
they're never going to go away. As soon as the companies probably don't have servers, somebody will probably make
Yeah.
servers for it.
Yeah.
Because they love it that much.
I just hope that Elden Ring isn't going to be like
I would kind of hope
Demon Souls Remastered, because with the Demon Souls Remaster, the multiplayer wasn't really strong for that game, so people would only really play it for
the story.
the story or the nostalgia of it. I hope that the multiplayer with Elden Ring, because I haven't got into it much, or like the PvP scene in it, I hope it will be really solid like Dark Souls 3 was. So the
It is.
online
It's
will-
actually. It's a little. I've been playing actually quite a bit of multiplayer or just cooperative, like hopping into worlds for people. Mm-hmm. I've only seen one invader.
non-NPC
pretty much-
invader.
Yeah, non-NPC invader, and he was already wore down enough. I jumped off a staircase and landed on his head.
Nice. Mario them.
But it's like, it's a save for internet connectivity issues.
Yeah.
It's pretty free flow for like when people bring you in.
Okay.
If you get summoned outdoors, you can roam around with the person unless you like wander out of the
Certain area.
designated area for like, because this game designates areas for multiplayer.
Yes.
Like if you're in a dungeon, you have free roam of the dungeon, and then it's like once you guys kill the boss, you go, or they die, you go home, and you just plop your mark right back down. And or if you need people, it's like there's a lot of marks, and it's really
Oh yeah, I have the problem where I'll try to summon someone for a boss,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll go summoning,
yeah, we'll go on.
unable to summon, because someone else had already summoned them.
It
by
will
that
either
time.
be they have been summoned already, or their internet might be crap.
Yeah, so I have to activate the signs over and over and over again until
Yeah.
I can brute force and get someone that hasn't.
I don't think
Failed.
that's the game itself doing that. I think that's multiple factors.
It's
of
also
issues.
week 2 of the game being out, so there are thousands
Yeah.
of people, and I'm still in the early part of the game, so there's even more people there.
Yeah. But I've enjoyed doing multiplayer. I actually spent several hours just guiding people through areas and using it to learn
I
areas.
didn't even think of this. This is going to be the best Souls game to actually guide people through an area.
Oh yeah.
Because there are tons of places you can just fully miss.
The way, well, like there's a level that's a castle. Castle's huge.
Yep.
The way the multiplayer was, I actually ended up in a cooperative with a really good player, and I guided them from the starting point of the castle all the way to the boss.
Oh, so the castle isn't sectioned off?
No.
Awesome.
There's multiple places where you can summon people, but that you can help people all the way through.
That's cool.
Dang, that's great.
So it's like the castle is the dungeon.
Yeah.
You know, it reads from the boss at the start all the way to the ending boss. That's all one area.
Nice.
I don't know as far as the open world how far that goes. I have not made a habit of just flopping a sign down somewheres.
Yeah, I definitely say this is one of the first games that have come out within the recent years that I'd say it's worth full price.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's not going to be like a,
It's not going to be like a Cyberpunk.
And I'd probably get smacked in the face for it's not going to be like a Call of Duty game where I play a couple missions and I beat it.
It's also not going to be like, I'll probably get smacked in the face for this, but Halo Infinite.
Yeah,
even though you don't pay for it, the multiplayer part of it.
No, but you do play for the campaign.
Yeah.
right.
Full
And
price.
probably not that long of a campaign, is it?
Well, it's open world.
Oh,
so
it is?
it's
Oh.
weird how they do it.
Huh.
It's actually very much like a
I
Elden
have,
Ring.
with Halo Infinite, I honestly have not heard anything about the campaign.
No, me neither.
It's all about multiplayer.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is one of the games that I just suggest paying full price for.
Okay.
I think FromSoft and Miyazaki deserves it.
Yeah. All right. Well, and with that, I think we're gonna cut it off for tonight.
How did I know we were just going to end up talking about Elden Ring most of the episode?
Because it was a unified agreement.
We only
Oh,
talked about it for 15 minutes.
Like
Was it only 15?
it was,
Yeah.
it was unified.
We gotta go long.
We talked about movies for 15 minutes, and we talked about Elden Ring.
And it was an agreement. It was unified, like a ring,
Yeah.
like an Elden Ring.
Like an Elden Ring.
Anyways, hopefully you enjoyed this episode. If you did, share it with a friend or a random person on the internet.
Just print off a poster about us, and on the streets, just run up and just slap it in someone's face.
Yes. If you want to follow us, you
Be
can
polite when you do it, though.
Just gently apply to face.
Don't be malicious where you just like slap them and just keep running. Just go up to them and just like bop them on the head and be like, look,
look.
look at this. I'm sorry for inconveniencing you today, but look.
Just be like, what is this? What is it?
I need to know.
I can't read.
Sir, there's no words on that picture.
It's just a blank sheet of paper.
Oh, I'm blind.
I didn't have a printer.
Anyways, if you want to follow us on any social medias, you can follow us on Twitter at BehindYouPod. You can also look us up on Podchaser as well. That is a podcast-oriented kind of social media type of site.
So we're being chased?
Oh no.
No. Definitely not being chased.
But it's called Podchaser.
Suspicious.
I know, it's weird.
Are they
I'm going to be
chasing
suspicious of
pods?
every car that follows me home tonight.
Sure, you go ahead and do that, bud.
Cue X-Files theme.
Nah, that's the wrong button.
There's no X-File theme.
What are you
on it.
trying to do?
I don't know.
We need an X-Files theme button.
No,
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
that's called copyright
That'd be
button.
so fitting.
I
for
believe
us.
it's been used so much it should be inferior.
It is like a American national treasure.
Anyways,
It is the American national treasure.
if you all want to email us, you can do that through the BehindYouCast@gmail.com.
Send all your letters there.
Yes, and you can even email us telling me to put the
X-Files.
X-Files theme on the soundboard.
Please
I
do.
might make a couple Gmail accounts.
I have to get 50,000 emails about it.
How about 50,000
I've heard
followers?
about bot farms.
And if I got 50,000 followers, I'd just put the whole series on the soundboard. of X-Files.
Our next podcast will just be looping audio from the X-Files.
I will make the audio version of X-Files.
I can't do a bot farm for that because that's illegal. But I can bot farm emails to you.
Yeah.
But I won't pay
And
the money.
with that, we are done for the night. Jordan,
Yes.
say goodbye.
Goodbye.
And Terry, where can they follow you?
They can find me at RamenCat13 on Twitter, or you can also find me over on Twitter at Eldritch Quill Arts. if anyone wants anything drawn, just slap me in the face with a direct message.
Gently. Like, sorry to inconvenience you.
Violently, like rocket fist.
Oh, geez. Okay.
And at that point, then I can get you like a commissions pricing sheet or something.
And of course, you can follow me on Twitter at SirBoom9. You can also find me on another podcast called Baka Talk, where I talk about anime, manga.
Probably mostly Evangelion.
And no, I don't talk about even. All my co-hosts don't like Evangelion.
Have you ever thought of just making a podcast about Evangelion?
Man, if I could find somebody to talk about Evangelion,
I'll talk about Evangelion.
You don't need someone to do it. You just ramble into the mic about Evangelion.
I become the Alex Jones of Evangelion.
They're angels. I don't know what's in Evangelion.
Angels.
That's the only thing I know that's in it. And whiny kids.
That's about right.
And mechs.
All right. I think we're done for the night.
Yep.
We'll see you all later. Have a good time until the next recording. Or not recording, because you won't hear the recording. You'll hear the finished product.
Ooh, finished products.
Yes. So have a good time until the next finished product. And remember, look behind you, because you never know when there's a giant boss about to run you over a horse.
That and we complain.
And have a good night.
Good night, everybody.